My research topic is called biogeochemistry, so it's an interdisciplinary mixture of biology, chemistry, and geology, and we're interested in what happens in marine environments, what's happening there today in relation to climate change, but also what happened in the past, because you and me, we're both multicellular animals, and multicellular animal life evolved right there at the bottom of the sea. And so basically we want to know where we come from, how this originated, what were the circumstances that animal life originated at the seafloor, and how animal life changed the environment back then. Because we think that life evolved in response to a change in the oxygen concentrations in the ocean, but we also think that the evolution of animal life afterwards changed the oxygen concentrations again in the ocean. So there's not only evolution of life, but there's co-evolution of say the Earth and life together. And the rise of animal life back 540 million years ago is like one of those defining moments in the story of life. And we'd like to know how that happened. I was trained as a chemical engineer, during my engineering studies, we focused on wastewater treatment, and my professors told me all about wastewater treatment plants, how much concrete you had to calculate, how much water you had to pump through. But then there was this magical thing going on. There was dirty water coming in and clean water coming out. And I was very interested in how did this happen? What was that magical thing? So after my studies in engineering, I decided that I wanted to know more about it. So I did a second degree in biology, and that put me on a trajectory into, say, academia and into on the interface between biology, chemistry, and geology. And the topic at that point that was available was there was a topic that about modeling what happens in the seafloor, and so they looked for a student who could make a complicated mathematical model of the seafloor, and there was I. I had skills in mathematics and skills in biology, and that put me in the direction of oceanography and of the seafloor, which is now my main research interest. After my PhD, I went on to several postdocs, first in the UK, then in the Netherlands, and those were all studies on what happens in the seafloor. And the seafloor is actually an amazing environment because it's deficient, there's no oxygen there, and it gives, and therefore you have all these strange microbial metabolisms that are flourishing there. And at one point we made this really intriguing discovery of a microbe that defied all we knew about biology, and these are electrical bacteria. The traditional structures in biology, they are not conductive. They are not conductive at all. So somehow evolution has evolved a structure that is conductive. So how does the seafloor create electricity? Well, we have here a bit of seafloor taken from the North Sea, put it here, and we put two electrodes in, one down here and one up here. And we connected this through an electrical circuit. And in this sediment there are bacteria, and those bacteria, they deliver electrons to the electrodes. These electrons go into the circuit and make the light flash. And this is how the seafloor generates electricity, by means of bacteria. This we knew already for 20 years. But now we've discovered an organism that does this on its own. It creates its own battery. So there are now these long bacteria called cable bacteria, which function in the same way as an electrical battery. And that's really new, and that's what we'd like to investigate, and we'd like to know how does this work and what kind of structures are they using to generate the electricity and to guide the electricity. And obviously, one of the big questions is, what is this structure? How does this look like? What is the chemical composition? What is the physical structure? And can we use this for technology? And obviously, the prospect of having a conductive structure that is biodegradable, that is created by biology, and it is highly conductive, that is obviously a big promise for all kinds of technology and all kinds of bioelectric applications.